In the heart of what was once Mesopotamia, Baghdad stood as a dazzling hub of intellect and insight, its influence stretching across continents, shaping the modern world in ways that resonate to this day. Imagine a city where scholars and scientists, poets and philosophers converged, where libraries flourished like gardens, and every street echoed with the sounds of discovery and debate. This was Baghdad during the Islamic Golden Age, a beacon of knowledge tragically dimmed by the sands of time and the ravages of conquest. Yet, even in its faded glory, the legacy of this once mighty capital continues to inform and inspire. Founded in 762 AD by the Abbasid Caliph al-Mansur, Baghdad was envisioned as not just a political capital, but as a lighthouse of learning, drawing scholars from all corners of the known world. From its inception, it was laid out in a circular plan symbolizing unity, perfection, and the eternal cycle of knowledge. The city rapidly flourished as a center for trade and academia, its location a strategic nexus connecting the Silk Roads to the Islamic heartlands. The growth of Baghdad was no accident, but rather a result of deliberate effort by the Abbasid caliphs who valued knowledge above all. Investing heavily in translation movements, they spurred the acquisition of Greek, Persian, and Indian texts, thus setting the stage for a renaissance of ideas and innovation. In its prime, Baghdad was a magnet for intellects and inventors, a place where religious, cultural, and linguistic diversity were not just tolerated, but celebrated. It was this environment that fostered unprecedented intellectual developments that would later traverse geography and epochs. One cannot discuss Baghdad without mentioning the Bait al-Hikmah, or the House of Wisdom. Founded by Caliph Harun al-Rashid and expanded by his son al-Mamun, this institution was part library, part university, and part research center. Here, scholars of different faiths, Muslims, Christians, Jews, and others, collaborated, their intermingling thoughts giving birth to new disciplines and ideas. At the House of Wisdom, vast amounts of knowledge were translated, preserved, and enhanced. Scholars like al-Khwarizmi and al-Kindi worked on algebra and philosophy, respectively, penning works that would be foundational to their fields. The impact of this flowering of knowledge was profound, charting new territories in science, mathematics, and medicine. These were the pioneering steps in fields that would later define human progress, the shadows of which were cast long and widespread, eventually reaching the shores of a distant Europe awakening from its dark ages. Baghdad was not only a center for intellectual endeavors, but also a marvel of medieval urban design and architectural sophistication. The round city of Baghdad, as it was known, featured groundbreaking urban planning that showcased the genius of Islamic architecture. This circular design was not only symbolic but also practical, enhancing the city's defense capabilities while facilitating efficient administrative control. The city was divided into sectors that prioritized accessibility, with two main roads intersecting at the center where the Grand Palace and the main mosque stood, epitomizing the unity of temporal and spiritual authority. The Abbasids also introduced innovations such as public hospitals, bridges, and an advanced water supply system that included aqueducts and reservoirs, demonstrating an understanding of public health and urban welfare ahead of its time. These infrastructural advancements made Baghdad one of the most sophisticated cities of the medieval world. The architectural ingenuity of Baghdad influenced countless other Islamic cities and even seeped into European urban development through interactions during the Crusades and later periods. The city's design and infrastructure set standards that would echo through centuries. Under the starlit skies of Baghdad, Islamic astronomers pushed the boundaries of their field, correcting and building upon the astronomical knowledge inherited from the Greeks and Persians. The works of scholars like al-Battani and Ibn al-Haytham were pivotal, with contributions that ranged from accurate solar and lunar models to the invention of the astrolabe. Al-Battani's refinement of Ptolemy's calculations for the solar year and his introduction of trigonometric ratios set the stage for future astronomical advancements. His work was so influential that it was later translated into Latin and became a cornerstone of European astronomy. The observatories in Baghdad were not just centers of learning, but also of international collaboration, attracting scholars from across the Islamic world and beyond. This collective endeavor not only advanced the field of astronomy, but also laid the groundwork for the scientific method, emphasizing observation and mathematical precision. Algebra, a term derived from the Arabic word al-jabr, meaning reunion of broken parts, was significantly developed in Baghdad, primarily by the scholar al-Khwarizmi. His seminal work, Al-Kitab al-Mukhtasar fi Hisab al-Jabr wal-Muqabala, laid the foundations for what we now recognize as algebra, offering systematic solutions to linear and quadratic equations. This innovation was revolutionary in that it introduced the concept of using mathematics to solve real-world problems systematically, a departure from the geometric methods favored by the Greeks. Al-Khwarizmi's algebra was a tool that would later prove indispensable in various fields, from engineering to economics, influencing countless generations across geographical and cultural boundaries. The transmission of this knowledge to Europe, through Latin translations of his works, provided a mathematical language that would later facilitate the development of further scientific disciplines during the Renaissance. In the labyrinthine alleys of Baghdad, amidst the clinking of glass and the glow of slow-burning fires, the proto-science of alchemy flourished. Jabir ibn Hayyan, often considered the father of chemistry, made profound advancements in this field from his Baghdad laboratory. Jabir's work encompassed the development of numerous chemical processes and the discovery of acids, which are cornerstone to modern chemistry. His systematic approach to experimentation laid the groundwork for the scientific method, emphasizing the importance of reproducibility and documentation in scientific inquiry. Alchemy in Baghdad was more than mystical pursuit. It was a rigorous science that involved the transformation of matter, which would later evolve into the science of chemistry. The techniques and substances developed here, such as distillation and crystallization, would eventually permeate into Europe, influencing the scientific revolution. The decline of Baghdad began with the devastating Mongol invasion in 1258, led by Hulagu Khan, a grandson of Genghis Khan. The siege laid waste to the city, marking the end of the Islamic Golden Age. Libraries burned, scholars perished, and the once vibrant streams of intellectual pursuit ran dry. The fall of Baghdad was not just a military defeat, it was a cultural and intellectual tragedy. The House of Wisdom was destroyed, and with it, countless manuscripts and records of centuries of human endeavor. The destruction set back the intellectual progress of the Islamic world by centuries, and had a chilling effect on the region's ability to influence world affairs. The loss of Baghdad's intellectual capital also shifted the center of scholarly activity to other parts of the world, particularly to the emerging universities in Europe. Despite the tragic fall of Baghdad, the legacy of its scholarly pursuits continued to enlighten the world. Through the preservation and translation of Arabic texts into Latin, the knowledge cultivated in Baghdad was passed on to European scholars, igniting the flames of the Renaissance. The works of Arabic scholars introduced Europeans to advanced mathematical concepts, including the numeral system, now known as Arabic numerals, which greatly facilitated calculations. Similarly, the philosophical, medical, and astronomical texts translated from Arabic enriched the intellectual landscape of Europe, paving the way for figures like Copernicus, Galileo, and Da Vinci. Today, The influence of Baghdad's golden age is evident in various facets of modern science and culture. The city's emphasis on knowledge and inclusivity remains a beacon for contemporary societies advocating for scientific collaboration and intercultural dialogue. As we reflect on the story of Baghdad, it is a poignant reminder of the cyclical nature of human progress and the enduring power of knowledge. The rise and fall of this great city teach us about the potential of human endeavor and the fragility of cultural and intellectual achievements. Baghdad, the lost beacon of knowledge, continues to illuminate the past, present, and future, urging us to remember that in the realm of intellect, every end is merely a new beginning. In modern Baghdad, amidst the challenges, there is a burgeoning hope and effort to recapture the spirit of inquiry and tolerance that once made it a nexus of world culture. This revival is a testament to the resilience of human spirit, striving to reconnect with its illustrious past, and to forge a future where knowledge, once again, lights the way.